just thought it might be helpful if I went through a couple of examples of how to find slope. So if you have 2 points, this can be x1 and y1, and this can be x2 and y2. So I'm going to use this formula. I want to know the change in y, so I'm going to do y2 minus y1 over the change in x. And if I started with y2, if I started with the y from this point, then I need to, on the bottom, start with the x from this point, x2 minus x1. So that's change in y over change in x, or rise over run. Okay, so we can substitute in the numbers for these points. So if I'm going to start with y2, it would be 5 minus 6 over 4, got to go back to the same point, minus 2. 5 minus 6, negative 1. 4 minus 2 is positive 2, and so my slope would be negative 1/2. Even though the negative was with the 1, it's negative 1/2 together. Okay, let's go through a different one together. So let's say these are the coordinates that you want to find the slope for. If I use rise over run, the slope formula, I would be doing 3 minus 2 over negative 5 minus negative 5. 3 minus 2 is 1. And the negative 5 minus negative 5, if I have negative 5 and I take away negative 5, then I don't have anything. If you want to use your integer rules, then it would be keep, change, opposite. So if I have negative 5 plus positive 5, they're going to cancel each other out, and it's going to be 0. When you have a 0 in the denominator, like I can't multiply 0 times anything and get 1. So this slope would be undefined. It's undefined if you have 0 in the denominator because you can't multiply anything times 0 to get that top number. Okay, let's go through one more together. Okay, for our last example, the coordinates of the first point is negative 2, 3. The coordinates of the second point is 3, 3, and I want to find slope. So I'm going to do this 3 minus this 3, y2 minus y1 over x2, go back to the same point, minus x1 minus negative 2. So I have 3 minus 3 on the top. The top is going to be 0. That's because my y has not changed. My y here was 3, my y here was 3, so I have no change in my rise. And then if I have 3 minus negative 2, if you do keep, change, change, or keep, change, it's going to be 3 plus positive 2, which is 5. Now you have to ask yourself, is there something I can multiply times 5 to get 0? Yes, 0. So the slope here is 0. It has a 0 slope, which means that there's no rise. The graph of this line does not rise. It stays at 3. Slope is all about the steepness of a line. So this one doesn't change. When you look back at the last one that we did together, this had a change. The y changed from 2 to 3, but the x didn't change. And there's nothing I can multiply times 0 to get 1, so this one's undefined. Whereas this one is a 0 slope. So hopefully going through those 3 examples will help you to complete the slope sort card Google activity.